When I was at school, mistakes were bad. Big red cross on your page, don't make mistakes. Today, of course, the pendulum has swung the other way. Mistakes are good, mistakes are to be encouraged, mistakes help us learn, celebrate mistakes. And of course, that's not true. Not all mistakes help us learn, and not all mistakes should be celebrated. Some mistakes really are bad, should have a big red cross and do have consequences. And we've been talking over the last few weeks about understanding the different types of mistakes we make. And when mistakes were bad, what it led learners to do was to avoid their learning zone. They stayed in their performance zone, stayed with what they knew and could do, and minimised the risk of going into their learning zone and getting something wrong. Today we understand that to grow, to improve, we have to go into our learning zone. And in our learning zone, we don't immediately know the answer. And in our learning zone, we make mistakes. But our challenge here is that without being able to differentiate between that performance mistake and the sort of mistake that we want to make in our learning zone, we end up vague and imprecise in the way we talk about mistakes. Because in our learning zone, what we make is what we call stretch mistakes. And stretch mistakes are different. Stretch mistakes we make intentionally, in the sense that we've removed ourselves from our performance zone. We've removed ourselves from that high stakes situation where things that might go wrong will have negative consequences. And we've put ourselves in an environment where we say, I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm going to give it a crack, and giving a crack at something that I don't know how to do comes with the very high likelihood. In fact, I want to see mistakes, because mistakes that happen in our learning zone can be interrogated. Mistakes that are in our learning zone can be pulled apart and go, where's the information here? And it's the information that's important. As we interrogate those mistakes, we find the information that gets us from here to here. And so when we talk to our children about mistakes, it's important not to be vague, not to talk about mistakes, but rather to distinguish between stretch mistakes, which come from our efforts of going into our learning zone, of asking ourselves, why does this not work? What do I need to do? How can I improve? Can I have some help, please? And distinguishing those from the sort of mistakes where I need to do my best, I should eliminate mistakes, and if I do make them, let's at least minimise the consequences. Or mistakes that you shouldn't have made in the first place, careless mistakes. As we help our children become more skillful learners, we help them develop a more nuanced understanding of mistakes. Mistakes aren't good, mistakes aren't bad. Mistakes are helpful or they're not. And what's important is not the mistake, it's the actions we take going into our learning zone to create mistakes, stretch mistakes to help us learn, or trying to stay in our performance zone to minimise mistakes. And what's also important is the student action and the information we get. Because if the mistake doesn't generate information, it doesn't help us see the way forward. Let's think more carefully about the next time we say mistakes help us learn, or everyone makes mistakes, or these vague concepts, and be more precise, more nuanced, more specific about the way we talk about mistakes.